What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Ben Thomas Show. Thanks for coming back. Today's kind of a random one. I called this channel the Ben Thomas Show because I didn't want to just talk about 6 scale. I didn't want to just talk about movies or pop culture. I wanted to kind of talk about whatever I think is cool shit. And I've seen a pre-order window opening for Star Trek The Next Generation figures from Super 7. So I wanted to pull up the images. I wanted to tell you guys my thoughts on it. It's Star Trek. I know it's not the sexiest franchise out there, but for my Trek fans in the audience, I love your faces. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe if you can, and let's get into it. So Super 7's latest Ultimates are ready to beam into your collections. Star Trek The Next Generation Ultimates, this is Wave 1, guys. Now, this wave features, of course, Lieutenant Commander Data, Guinan, Commander Riker, and Locutus of Borg. Man, as a fan of Star Trek, I feel like I'm getting so much Locutus lately. Like out of nowhere, between Exo 6, the 6 scale version coming, and now this. And of course I was a little skeptical when somebody sent me the link. I was like, I personally have never collected Super 7's toys, so I don't really know what the quality looks like. But some of the inclusions of the accessories with these figures are amazing, and they do look better than Playmates, but of course they're not quite the cost scale you get out of a 6 scale figure like an Exo 6 release. So I was actually really excited to take a deeper look into this for you guys. And I've discovered a couple things that I wanted to quickly share. So the time left on the pre-order window for this is 30 days, 19 hours, 41 minutes, and 47 seconds from this current recording, which, since you're probably watching this in the future, you have no idea when I'm saying that, is going to close, which means, mark it in your calendars, Friday, December the 2nd, 2022 at 6 p.m. Doesn't say the time zone. 6 p.m. on December the 2nd. If you're interested in this, get your order in, because any timed release typically means limited edition down the line. I don't know Super 7 very well as a company, so it's hard for me to speak to exclusivity, but I think as a figure release, it is pretty cool. So Data is one of my favorite characters in Star Trek of all time. The Next Generation for me is my favorite Star Trek series, so I'm excited to see that Wave 1 is Star Trek The Next Generation line. The Data is fantastic. He comes with a head sculpt with a poker hat on. He comes with his violin. He comes with Spot. I mean, Spot, his cat, is a key accessory. It's something that I hope Exo 6 includes with their next Data release. But I'd love to see it. He also comes with a couple of hands. He comes with a hand holding poker cards, which is fantastic. Again, some amazing iconic scenes in Star Trek The Next Generation in poker, playing poker with the boys and with some of the ladies of the starship. And then, of course, we move on to Commander Riker. Now, again, Riker's got 2 head sculpts, not 3 like Data, so that's okay. He's got kind of his cheeky smirk face, though, which I do really like, as well as more stern and professional commanding look. He's got the little Picard doll, which I think is amazing. Honestly, I want to get this figure just for that doll alone. I think that's hilarious. But he also comes, of course, with his trombone. He comes with a phaser. He also comes with his own set of cards, so you can have Data pitted against Riker, just like some of the really cool iconic scenes. In fact, the very last scene of Star Trek The Next Generation is them sitting down to a game of poker. So, very, very, very cool. Now, Guinan, I think, is also a really great release in this wave. I'm surprised at the selection of figures that we got here. I would have thought for a Wave 1 we would have seen like just standard bridge crew. So I think it's interesting that Guinan is on that. Now, some would argue that Guinan is still one of the key characters in The Next Generation. I mean, she is in the ear of Jean-Luc Picard, right? He trusts her judgment because of her lengthy lifespan and all of the experiences she's had. I mean, she makes a great counselor, even though we have Deanna Troi as a counselor to Picard as well. Guinan is a different type of counselor, and I think she's a great character, played of course by the iconic Whoopi Goldberg. But as a figure form, she looks awesome. I've literally no complaints about this. I love the coloration of the purple on the outfit. I love that she comes with a variety of cocktails and drinks, so you can make her kind of standing up at a bar serving, or giving some advice to the other crew members. I think it's really great. She comes with a couple of hands. The gun is a unique inclusion. I'm struggling to remember an episode where she'd have a gun like that, so Star Trek fans out there, help me on that one. What's the episode this gun would be from, if any, or is this just an odd inclusion to the figure? I want to know more on that one. And then, of course, like I mentioned in the pre-credit here, last but not least, Locutus of Borg. Played by, of course, Patrick Stewart. Jean-Luc Picard is assimilated by the Borg, and he becomes Locutus. He becomes the right-hand man to the Queen in the last episode of Season 3 and the first episode of Season 4 of Star Trek Next Generation, The Best of Both Worlds, Part 1 and Part 2. Loved those episodes. Easily some of my favorite of all time when it comes to Star Trek. And I think they've done the figure actually a pretty solid due diligence here. Again, 3 head sculpts. So you get a head sculpt at different levels of assimilation of Jean-Luc Picard, which is kind of cool. He only comes with the one hand. Of course, he's got his Borg arm extension on the right hand side, so you're not going to have a different hand for that. One hand is fine, on the other side. Whatever. I would have liked more hands, but only so you could make him a little more expressive. However, Locutus is not really all that expressive, let's be honest. He's a freaking Borg drone. So, yeah, he doesn't really talk with his hands all that much. I'll give him that. And honestly, I think the inclusion of the 3 head sculpts is really, really cool. Now, cost-wise, this is coming in at $220 pre-shipping, it looks like. Now, I mean, if you break that down over the 4 figures, that means these are coming in at about $55 per figure. I think they're better than the Playmates versions. Now, I get that the Playmates versions are pretty old now, so that might not even be a very fair comparison. But honestly, other than X06, the only other Star Trek figures I have in my collection are Playmates, so they're the only thing I can really compare them to, and these are still superior for sure. These are in that 7-inch line, so they'll line up with other figures that I have in my collection, which I think is really cool. It says that the safety age is 14. Small accessories, people, don't get excited and choke on a phaser. Nobody wants that. Nobody does. But what do you guys think? Are you guys kind of excited about this release, or am I on my own terms here with Wave 1? I don't know. I think it's really exciting. I like to see new and cool shit out in the market. And as I said to you in the beginning, the Ben Thomas Show, we're going to talk about anything that I think is cool, and I'm just happy to have you guys here along for the ride with me. But if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. It always helps. We're getting close to that 600 mark, aiming for 1,000. And I will catch you guys on the next, maybe wave of the Next Generation line of Super 7. We'll see. Stay tuned. Have a great night. Talk to you on the next one, everybody.